Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm gonna be reacting to a video called Why the Dutch Love Herring, the Netherlands' Best Street Food. So this is quite surprising because I think usually when I think street food, I think of like hot dogs, pretzels, and the like, and not specifically herring. But we're gonna find out why the Dutch people love this fish so much. So let's check it out and comment, like, and subscribe.
This is how most of my fans enjoy me. In one piece with all the fixins.
Oh my.
I'm the herring.
This
the
is
new herring, a favorite street food of the Dutch.
Why are
They
you
actually
eating
wait
this?
all year for me. But why? Well, I'll tell you. It's early morning in downtown Amsterdam. I've just come from the wholesalers. Not much going on at the market yet, but you'll see, soon enough, it'll be buzzin'. Without him, I'd be nowhere. My fishmonger and partner in crime. He's always in a good mood.
Sure.
Okay, I am Jack, and this is the fish shop, which it was started by my father-in-law. I work here for around 25 years.
Jack likes to start his day with a herring breakfast.
I've been everywhere, the best hotels in the world. Breakfast is always great, but everywhere I miss my herring.
Herring for breakfast is not for the faint of heart. That's the only thing I'll say.
This is my day. Herring season begins in mid-June, the 5th season. It's when we first show up in the shops,
Oh, they have a
freshly caught.
season. It was year round.
It's party time in the Volendammer Vishandel seafood restaurant.
They're all so happy. Must be because they're eating so much
The
herring.
folks have been waiting for me for months now, and no wonder, I'm healthy and tasty. Both herring mad Dutch and tourists are in love with me.
I wait for the new herring. That's more important than Christmas. It tastes like
Christmas.
The sea, like fresh air, like life.
Greasy, healthy, and salty. It's the best
Yeah.
thing ever. I love it.
My mom and I came here like 10 years ago, first time,
We still going.
and we still come.
It got like a soft taste,
Okay.
and then it melts on your tongue.
It's an angel on your tongue.
After I'm caught, I'm cured in salt for a few days. Before being served, there's one more step. If you're a bit squeamish, you might want to look away.
I'm gonna look away.
Cleaning means lose the guts, the dorsal fins, the skin, and the head. And the bones, an annoyance when eating. And that's it. Jack and his knife clean some 500 fish a day. What's
Oh my
it all
God.
for?
The best herring to eat a herring is fresh from the knife. When they don't clean your herring in the shop, you should pass the shop.
Yeah.
Yes. Only take a herring when someone is cleaning it for you, so you can eat it right away.
Absolutely. I
In
agree.
all modesty, I'm the great love and comfort of the Dutch, even if I've got some competition as street food. Mainly from these: kip, broiled chicken. Oh well. And of course from frikandel. Imagine that, from vending machines. Midday at the market is all about street food. It has to be seen and tasted. Have you tried poffertjes, little pancakes, and the renowned
Oh.
stroopwafel? But there's no mincing words. None are in the same street as me. Even our former Queen Beatrix is hooked on me.
Well, yeah, she's Dutch.
But nobody knows
What?
me as well as Jack.
I can't with them eating this.
Every is different. Every fish is different. When you eat them all day, you start to learn the differences.
Of
You
taste,
could
yeah.
say we're true individualists. To maximize your enjoyment, here are a couple of insider tips.
You don't use your teeth. Use your tongue to press it, then it's really the nice touch.
Sometimes when the new herring came, I come with friends to this like this, and you eat 6 non-stop like this.
The first ones we eat with no pickles, no onions, because we want to taste it. But later in the year, it went a little bit smelly, so they took
What do you-
onions on it and pickle to make the taste more interesting.
It's smelly, and that's why we're adding onions and pickles.
If you have a really nice evening, you have a lot of booze, and the next morning you eat 2 herrings, no problem.
It's really healthy, and it's also I don't know why, but it develops your brain faster, so you become smarter.
Okay.
A fish has to drink, well, like a fish. So I go best with a Jenever gin or a Korenvine, aged in an oaken barrel. It's a
This is
dignified
interesting.
conclusion of my day of glory.
Proost.
And how do I make everyone feel on a day like this?
Happy faces. I can't think of anything better. And you gotta keep in shape and eat herring.
A lot of protein.
That calls for another herring. Tot ziens. Till next year.
Okay, so yes, I think like saying it like this, it's not that I'm like, oh, you know, fish, because fish, like, yeah, sure, fish is good. I think like what's like a little like I wouldn't say it may be shocking. I don't know if that's the word, because it's just like it's raw fish. Like you eat sushi, like, well, a lot of people like eat sushi all the time, and that's sort of similar. Although I don't think like they're not really that similar, just because of I think like when they show like the last clip of the guy, like the fish was like sort of like cut up into little pieces. As in, like, when you're like maybe having sushi, or not really, because like usually it tends to be like covered in rice, maybe like a poke bowl or like a sashimi, but I think the sashimi doesn't have the skin. I think it's a little bit like, oh my, okay, you know, at least for me, is the fact that is not cut up when it's not cut up in pieces, and it's just like the little fish, and it has also like the skin. I'm like, okay, well that's a step too far. Like, can we just remove this and, you know, just cut it into little pieces and take out the skin? I think it's probably more palatable to me, more, you know, it's less shocking, at least, you know, coming from an outsider's perspective. But if like all the clip at the beginning, how the video started, we're just like, there was like this bunch of people just like taking literally as it feels like you're just like, you caught a fish and then you just like sort of like putting it like this and you're just like eating it. That's a little like, whoa, okay, you know, like that's what we're doing right now. I think that's a little, you know, I don't know if I would do that. I think like if I were in Netherlands, I don't think I would do that. I think I would try the herring, but I would try them like with a little, like they were grabbing like a toothpick and they were like, okay, like little pieces. I know that like they apparently take out the skin, but like I'm seeing also like some skin. You know, maybe like clean other things. I'm not honestly, I don't love the idea of cleaning a fish or seeing how a fish is cleaned, because it's a little bit like, yes, I am a little squeamish, so this is a little bit like, whoa, I do not want to know the details, just like let me know when the fish is done and I'll eat it, like it's fine. I do think like, obviously, because it's sort of like it's pickled, like it you know, they have to let it like marinate, but I do think like it needs like a little sauce. I'm surprised that it's just sort of like the herring, like just like on its own. He did mention that, or like something that a little bit, I think what I found it a little concerning. It was like later on, and I was like, okay, later on, as in like today, where you start with like your raw fish off with like nothing, no nothing, because it's just like the fish, and I want to know how it tastes. You know, like early on, you know, like I don't know. 1 p.m. And then, you know, later on as the day progresses, then you're like, oh, you know, I'm gonna have like something else. I'm gonna have it with some pickles. I'm gonna have it with some onions. But then he was like, no, later on in the year, when it starts to get smelly, I'm concerned, because like fish shouldn't smell, right? Like if it smells bad, like why are you eating this? Like it's not safe for you, because it tells you like maybe the fish is rotten or it's starting to go bad. You know, fish should not smell bad. I mean, I know you're probably like, oh my god, it smells fishy, disgusting. No, it's not. Like fish has a smell, but it's technically, if it's fresh, if it's a fresh fish, it's not bad. It's just I don't know, it smells like fish, but it's not the rotten fish. Rotten fish, like, yes, sure, that's disgusting, but you know, freshly caught fish just has like a little a faint sort of like fishy smell, but it smells more, I can't explain it, but I think it smells more like salt. You know, I know that salt technically doesn't have a sense, but it tastes, I can't explain. It smells like the sea. Like the sea definitely has a smell. So it's like a little bit like that. But actually, having said that, I don't really know, like it's herring, like is it like a lake like a fresh fish, fish, or a freshwater fish, or is it in lakes? Is it where? But maybe it's in the ocean. I don't know. I don't know where exactly like they get their herring, but I do think like that was a little concerning, just like side note, like, oh yeah, it smells like, it starts to smell a little bad, so we have to like cover up the smell with some onions. And again, if onions like also smell like quite strongly, so it's like, okay, because you want to overpower the smell of the fish. Hopefully it's not rotten, and if it's rotten and if it's starting to smell bad, like, do not eat this, like, you're gonna get sick. And also, it doesn't sound too appetizing just to eat something that smells disgusting. It's like, no, I don't want. Why would I eat this? Like, it smells bad. So I was a little concerned about that part. Would love some clarification, but. The others, again, I think I would, it's like, well, yeah, sure. I also like that, are the onions pickled or are they raw onions? I don't think I could do raw onions with the fish as well. I think that's a little way too intense for me, but like pickled onions and pickled, like just pickles, yeah, sure. I think that sounds good. Like, who doesn't love pickles? But, and well, I know some people do, but usually like pickles are good and pickled onions are also very good. So yeah, sure. But I'm a little bit of like, I need some sort of sauce, and also I need like, I don't know, I need some sort of like maybe toast. Although I don't know if like, I'm trying to imagine like herring plus toast. I don't know if it would go good with bread actually. Maybe it's just something that has to be enjoyed on its own because the taste is so probably strong that you wouldn't have this in toast. But maybe I'm just imagining maybe like a toast, like a gravlax toast, but I don't think they sound like they don't really taste that similar, because I think gravlax and salmon in general have, the taste is a little mild, it's milder, and I think herring, like, it's an intense flavor, so it's not the same. But also I think, having all this and talking about this and seeing all the like how Dutch people go wild about this, I have a lot of questions. It's like, do they get? I didn't know there was like a one specific season. I think it's just June. So it starts in June, and maybe like he mentioned they eat it at Christmas. So it starts like 6 months. It ends like, well, it ends. It lasts for about 6 months probably. What do they do on the other 6 months? Do they have it? Can it go to the supermarket and maybe like they sell it in jars? I am imagining this. There are some products that you can get at a supermarket where they sell you like the jars of like pickle jars, but in a jar like it has pickles, but there's like a lot of like vegetables as well. Instead of like pickled vegetables, I am imagining something of the sort, because I've seen fish before that comes in that packaging of like that jar, the giant jars. But I don't know if it's herring. I'm trying to imagine. I think I've seen. Probably it's tuna, the one I've seen, but not herring specifically. But I would love to know, like, do they sell that? Is it normal to just like go to the Netherlands in the middle of, I don't know, March, and maybe like because there's no fresh herring, like you can get it at a supermarket, just like sort of like packaged, or maybe people make it themselves at home. Like I can get the herring and then I can like do my little concoction, and then I do as and when you pickle things at home. Maybe they do it like again at home, and maybe they put it like, I'm imagining, oh, they put some herbs, maybe, like I'm already creating like a recipe that I don't even know if it exists. Like maybe you put some rosemary, or I don't know, oregano, I don't know, some other things, and you sort of like put it there and you do your own thing. But I don't know, I think potatoes actually would be very good with this as well. Like potatoes and boiled potatoes, I think would actually be really good, and with like a little sauce as well. Like then I think that would be like quite. I would love to do that and see if it's a thing that people do over there. But also like how this tradition started. Like I would love to know. Obviously, babies, they start them young when they're kids and they're babies, so they can like get used to the taste, because I am imagining this is quite an acquired taste, because even if you like it, maybe you can get used to this, but I had to get used to the taste. It's not something that I like. I tried for the first time, I was like, wow, this is delicious. Probably it's like, it tastes good, but I'm not gonna go wild over this. Maybe like I would have it every once in a while. However, these people seem to be like so into this that it's like, yes, because you're sort of like you have already like, you've been taught to love this because it's a tradition, and probably again they give this to their babies, and obviously when they grow up as adults, it's like, oh, I love the taste. It's like, yes, because it's an acquired taste. But how did it actually start? I'm wondering if it was like at some point in time in the Netherlands they had like this huge overproduction of herring, and maybe they didn't really have anything else to eat, because it was like the 1700s, and everyone started eating pickled herring, and they had to pickle them as well. Not exactly pickle them, but they had to like prepare them. Obviously, it's fish, and they didn't have fridges back then. So it's like, do we have to figure it out a way to actually preserve this fish because we have so many and there's no food? So maybe that's how it started. And then obviously when they came out of like that dark time, that dark era, like they were like, well, let's not forget this. And like it's really aching to like being Dutch and our Dutchness, because it reminds us of another time. I don't know, we'd love to know like the specifics, because it's quite particular, right? If I start thinking about this, it's like, what do you guys love, like how this tradition started? And also it seems like there's like one day in particular where the whole thing starts, probably because it's like, oh, the season started, like when some like, there are some places that have like, oh, it's lobster season, so you know, it's like some restaurants are like, oh, we're celebrating like it's the beginning of like lobster season, so you have like lobster rolls and whatever, like they do a whole menu. So I think probably this is a little like this is like, yes, we're seeing like the celebration of the day in particular, because like they do one particular day where the whole thing starts and everyone, it's very joyful, everyone's happy, and then like, oh, the start of the season, and then, you know, like a month later I can go and have my herring, and I'm gonna find it everywhere because, you know, it's the season and it's fresh. However, I will say that again, I would try it, because I'm very like interested to know like, yes, how does the authentic like Dutch herring taste like, you know, like with this. And yes, sure, I would try it. However, like the other street food, I think sounds like it's better. You know, like the other, like you have like the hot dogs, or well, the sausages. You have the chicken. You have the fries. Like the stroopwafels. Like I wouldn't be like my number one option. I would want to taste it because I'm curious, but there's other options that I think were some more palatable. And also, you know, again, this is coming from like an outsider's perspective. If you're like just stumbling home, like maybe you're coming after, like it's the middle of the night, you're going home from the bar, it wouldn't occur to me to have herring specifically. Like I would go for the fries, I would go for the chicken, I would go for something else. I wouldn't go for the actual raw fish. You know, it's like, oh my god, no, I've been drinking and it's the middle of the night, and less of all, the whole fish completely, like, I'm not a cat, like, no, I'm not doing that. But, you know, very, very curious, and yes, I would love to know how it tastes like. But that was it for today, and I'll see you next time. Bye!